Hello, I'm Dr. Barber with this edition of Monday Motivation. I have with me Anthony Daiello, one of our graduating seniors from the Bradwell Institute. We are here at the Savannah Tech Aviation campus, and we're here to hear from Anthony and the wonderful accomplishments that he has in the world of aviation as a dual enrollment student here at Savannah Tech Aviation campus. So we're excited to be here. We hope you enjoy and have fun. Come join us. Here, look who we ran into here.
This is Tal. He is the dean of the whole aviation program here at Savannah Tech. This is Mr. Willie. He is the sheet metal instructor here at the aviation campus. And this is Mr. Ernie. He is the whole aviation technician instructor here at Savannah Tech.
Fantastic. And so thank you so much for allowing us to join you this morning. We are excited about the program, excited about the wonderful accomplishments of Anthony. And so we're here to just kind of find out more about the program and some of those accomplishments. And boys and girls, we want to make sure that you listen up carefully so that you can come and participate in this program at some point during your educational journey. So Anthony, talk to us. How long have you been a part of this particular aviation program?
I've been part of this program since the beginning of last year.
Okay.
And I've been coming to this specific campus since the beginning of this year.
Okay, so aviation. So when I think aviation, man, I'm thinking airplanes, I'm thinking computer systems. You know, we're going to take flight. Talk to me, what's been your passion? When did you define an interest in aviation?
My interest came in a couple years ago, actually. I've been interested in planes. I was always confused how something that doesn't flap its wings flies.
Right.
And I always been scared of going high. So I just decided, why not? Just come learn about it. Why? See if everything's interesting about it. And I come to find out I love the thing.
Right. So that's pretty interesting. You were kind of scared of the planes, but you came to learn more about them. So that's interesting. You know, there's been a lot of talk about, you know, people going to space, and you've seen Jeff Bezos, and I think the guy from Space Galactica, and things of that nature. And so, how, you know, if you had the opportunity to go to space tomorrow, would you take that ride?
No.
No. So you're in aviation, but you're saying that's a ride you're not taking, right? I've heard you have completed some certifications here. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think there's 2 certifications that you completed already, and you just finished one last night, correct?
Yes, sir.
So talk to me about those. What are those 3 certifications, and what do they allow you to do?
Well, I got my first certificate I got was for sheet metal, and that pretty much says I'm able to work on sheet metal. I know how to build certain parts of the plane, like for the airframe, and I'm able to understand the components and such. Okay. Then I got the electrician, which allows me to understand basic electrical systems and do some basic troubleshooting. And last night I just finished up the Aviation Technician, which pretty much the advanced course of the electrician, but you also understand different sections like the power, and you get to understand the navigation systems as well.
All right, sounds good. Well, I can tell he's just becoming an expert because I think I learned something. Now, let me ask you this question. What is your ultimate goal in the area of aviation? What is it? Do you want to be a pilot for Delta? You want to fly to Mars? What is it? What is it that you want to do?
I will be a basic technician for Gulfstream.
Okay, you want to be a basic technician for Gulfstream. Okay, now that sort of job, what type of money could someone going into that field expect to make?
From what I remember, it is around $88K beginning.
$88,000 beginning?
Yes.
88 grand to begin?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Do you have to graduate from college, or could you go through a training program such as this?
You can go through a training program from this, but you're most likely to land a job if you go through, you graduate college and do this as well.
Okay. Now, what's high end? You know, how high could it go for a person working in this field?
For how high it can go is, what I remember was, I don't know if I correctly remember this, but it's around $120K.
$120,000? Boys and girls, $120,000. Let me do the math correctly in my head. I think that's 10 grand a month. I think that's 10 grand a month. Check my math. Wow, that's, again, and that goes to what we've been saying in the Liberty County school system, that the knowledge, Anthony, is what? It's going to turn into money, boys and girls. The knowledge will turn into money. Now, some people tend to think that when we put on those VR goggles on our PlayStation 5s or PlayStation 4s or whatever, and do flight simulation, is that really like flying an airplane, or those things are totally different?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay, tell me a little bit.
Some of the functions are basically the same, but when you do like fly the plane, it's a completely different experience. It's different systems, and a way they work is not always going to be the same when it goes to virtual reality. You don't get to have that same feel.
Okay.
Plus, you don't get to experience all the same safety measures as you do when you fly the plane itself.
All right, fantastic. Okay, good. So there's some similarities, but just because I played with that video game doesn't mean I can just go fly a plane.
No,
Right?
no.
All right, gotcha. Now, let me ask you one final question, and then we're going to go see some of the labs that you've been working in. If a kid is interested in being an aviation student and being able to come to the Savannah Tech Aviation campus in their high school years, what suggestions would you have for those students right now?
Always focus on science, and especially math. Math is the most important part you can ever learn for aviation.
Okay, science and mathematics. Is there a particular area? I know in science, for me, chemistry wasn't my thing. I passed, but, so is there a particular area?
Chemistry and physics.
Chemistry and physics. All right, chemistry and physics, boys and girls. And now in math, is there a particular area? I know you got geometry, you got calculus, you got algebra. What particular area of math should students really practice in?
The two I would suggest is calculus and algebra.
Calculus and algebra. All right, fantastic. Well, look, is there anything else you want to share with me before we go take a look at some of these cool labs?
None that comes to mind.
All right, sounds good. Let's move on. This is cool, man. Now, I'm sure time is of the essence, so when they give you a fault, you don't have all day to figure out that fault. You got to do that real quick because you could be in the air, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're here in the avionics area of this wonderful lab, and we got some really cool stuff. I don't know what much of this is, so we're going to let the experts tell us about what is this thing. Let's start here first.
I'm Dr. Ernie Ron. I'm one of Anthony's professors. We went through our advanced installer course, or what we call our technician course, and he spent quite a bit of time working with this particular trainer, which this simulates aircraft systems, and as the instructor, I get the opportunity to come in and insert faults, things that go wrong. And Anthony got to come in and spend quite a bit of time with multimeters and other tools, taking things apart to figure out where these problems were at. And matter of fact, I'll let him tell you a little bit more about the lab.
For the lab, we just need to see if anything's working properly or not. So we pretty much the first step always turn on the master switch. That puts in the power to everything in the system to make sure everything works. These two switches turn on the generator and the alternator, which we won't turn on now because they're quite noisy. Then we have this little system, which is for the navigation lights. So we can have them go on steady or have them go flashing. And make it dim or brighter. These are basic circuit breakers for the system. We have a little beacon, starters, and circuit breakers for the starters, whole stall warning system. And then we have right here, if you pay attention to right here, if you move this, it's the whole fuel gauge. So pretty much fuel, when it's filled, just lifts this up and tells you how much fuel is inside the system.
All right. Well, thank you so much for this particular area. Show me something else in this one. So, Anthony, man, this looks pretty cool. It's obviously some sort of airplane. What type of airplane is this?
This is the G100.
G100. So, would this be considered? Is this a jet? Is this a?
Pretty much a private jet that you can have custom made by Gulfstream.
Okay.
This particular one is no longer in commission for flight.
For flight. Okay. All right. So this is a jet, so to speak. What's this? What's this stuff here? This is a lot of stuff. What is that?
This is the avionics bay. Pretty much holds all the different electrical and computer systems for the plane.
Okay. So an avionics bay, kind of controlling all the computer, electronics, and things of that nature for this particular plane. Anything? I mean, So what happens in class? So what are some of the things you typically would do in this class with this particular avionics bay?
We wouldn't show any out here because these systems are all operational.
Oh,
so
okay.
what we do is with these, we just show the operational nature, how to remove and install the different components, and which ones that we go up on the flight deck. Like we've got this box here, and then we have this indicator on the flight deck. That box is what generates the signals for this indicator on the flight deck.
Again, here we are. It is some really cool stuff here at the Savannah Tech Aviation campus. We're still with Anthony. And what do we have here? Mr. Hudson, this is some sort of, is this the fuselage? What's going on with this?
Okay, thank you. This is, my name is Willie Hudson. I'm the ASTT instructor for the Savannah Tech. And this is a mock-up. This is a training aid for structural plus electrical installation. So this was from a Gulfstream 450 aircraft. This is what we use to simulate our training for the students so they can have a real feel of the real aircraft.
Okay, Anthony, I noticed there's some wires that are here. But what are those wires? Because when I'm on a plane, I typically don't think that there's wires.
So, you know how the walls are pretty much enclosed, you don't get to see through it.
Correct.
Pretty much what you don't see is there's a bunch of wires which are laced together to make little bundles, are throughout the entire wall, connecting to different parts of the systems to make sure everything works.
Those wires, they do what?
Multiple things. You can do like lights inside the cabin or a bunch of other things. It can also connect to the engines to get power.
So we were talking about the fuselage a moment ago and the fact that the fuselage is made from an enormous amount of sheet metal. Now this looks flat to me, Anthony. How do you get that bent into the shape of an airplane?
Well, we have a specific tool that we use to bend, which is that blue one right over there.
What do you do next? How do you?
Well, we have to decide where we need to put we get a screwdriver, we need to make sure we use basic math, and to determine where we need to put some little holes that we drill into the thing.
Okay.
Then, let me get this piece. We get a riveter, and we rivet each piece together. Bunsen bar is used to be against the little rivet, and we use the riveter to push the rivet against it, have it squish to fill the hole and go outside the hole so it stays completely firm.
So let me get this straight. So we have a flat piece of metal here. You guys are able to take this thing, bend it together, mend it together to create different aspects of the airplane.
Yes.
All right, so in order to do that, you have to have some more tools.
We have lots
Okay, show me some of those tools, man. Because I know you just can't do this with a screwdriver.
Basic hammer.
What
Oh,
are those?
Bunsen bar.
I think one of the things that I'm noticing, if you can look at this, if we get our camera on this, boys and girls, it looks like one thing, Anthony, you have to be, again, highly organized.
Yes. Always make sure you have every toolbox organized no matter what in avionics. So you know where pieces are, is you can get accessible easily. This is a file. You usually have an end connected on, so for much better ease of use. We use this to round off edges or do a little bit of shaping of the metal.
Okay.
Not much, but it's used to soften up the edges so we don't accidentally poke ourselves.
What are these things here?
This is metal cutters.
Okay, got it.
So dangerous, but they will cut through the metal.
Good grief. All right, again, we are so excited to have had this opportunity to spend some time with Anthony here at Savannah Technical College Aviation Campus. The wonderful experiences that he has been able to be a part of due to his wonderful academic work at Bradwell Institute in the dual enrollment program and the work at LCCA is just phenomenal, and we wish you nothing but great success at Georgia Southern University next semester. And as we always say at this time, excellence in everything.